Hello my friends, Wayne here of the Let's Play Cat Gaming channel, and today I'm going to throw another hypothetical WWE return at you after the success of my hypothetical Dave Batista WWE return a few weeks back. So basically in this little series, this little audio piece that I'm delivering to you right now, I'm going to give you guys a hypothetical situation, and in this situation a big name WWE superstar of the past is going to make a WWE return. And what I want you guys to do is put yourself in the situation that you've logged onto your favourite news and rumour website, or even the official WWE website itself, and you've seen this piece of news that this superstar is coming back. How would you feel about that WWE return? How would you feel about their next big match? And more importantly, how do you think they would fare at WrestleMania 30, which is of course 1 year from now? So in this piece, guys, we're going to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Imagine that Stone Cold Steve Austin has just been given a new WWE contract. He's on the verge of a WWE return right now. Now, what would be left for Stone Cold Steve Austin in the WWE if he did return right now in time for WrestleMania 29? But obviously, Austin wouldn't wrestle at WrestleMania 29. He'd wrestle in time for WrestleMania 30. So, put yourself in that situation, that scenario. Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming back to the WWE in time for WrestleMania 30. Who would Austin wrestle? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. If you didn't ask, I've just asked myself. But there are a few huge matches that Stone Cold Steve Austin could easily participate in time for WrestleMania 30. And I'm going to list a few of them that I think would be the top matches for Stone Cold during a WWE return at WrestleMania 30. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is The Rock vs Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, it's no secret that The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin are two of the greatest of all time. They are Attitude Era icons, and between them, they have had many flawless matches, and many of their flawless matches have been against each other. Now, Austin and The Rock have wrestled at WrestleMania on numerous occasions, and they've wrestled each other all over the freaking world on Monday Night Raw, the weekly Raw events. These guys are two legitimate ring veterans, and in my opinion, Austin and The Rock bring out the very best in each other. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Austin and Rock match. Their match at WrestleMania, their last match at WrestleMania, is among my favourite matches of all time. And I would love to be able to relive those Rock vs Austin memories. And what better way to relive the memory than remake the memory? Now, as we've seen in recent years, The Rock is in phenomenal shape. The Rock is the current WWE champion, and The Rock, quite frankly, looks better than he's ever done in his entire career. If The Rock looked this great in his original WWE run, then my freaking God, would he be worth some money. Now, Austin, as we all know, is a movie star these days, just like The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin himself looks to be in the best shape of his life. Now, Austin didn't return to Raw a few months back due to a knee surgery that prevented him from even getting in the ring, but Austin has completely rehabbed that. And I read an interview with Austin not so long back where he said that the only reason he isn't coming back to the WWE right now is because there isn't anything for him to do. If Austin comes back, he said that he wants it to be big, he wants it to be important, and he wants it to add to the product. Now, revisiting the past at an event such as WrestleMania 30, in my opinion, would be legitimately flawless. It would be absolutely perfection to see The Rock vs Austin at the biggest WrestleMania celebration of all time. WrestleMania 30, the 30th annual WrestleMania pay-per-view. What bigger match would headline than The Rock vs Stone Cold Steve Austin? The Rock and Austin are two of the biggest superstars of all time, and between them they've had flawless matches countless times with each other. Now, The Rock vs Austin is widely regarded as one of the greatest feuds of all time. Why not give the fans The Rock vs Stone Cold Steve Austin one more time? I think that would be a masterful main event at WrestleMania 30, and I can't think of two superstars that clash as brilliantly as The Rock and Austin do, and I would thoroughly love to see The Rock vs Stone Cold Steve Austin, the final chapter in their legendary rivalry at WrestleMania 30. And I would love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts on a potential Stone Cold vs Rock match at WrestleMania 30 1 year from now. Now, the second match I'm going to talk about is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar. Now, as we all know, Brock Lesnar returned to the WWE last year. He immediately made John Cena his target, and more recently he's made Triple H his target. Now, while Brock Lesnar did defeat Triple H in their last battle, they are again about to clash at WrestleMania 29. Brock Lesnar vs Triple H is one of the headline matches between these two veteran superstars, and in my opinion it's guaranteed to be brilliant, even though it's billed as a no-holds-barred match, and I think Brock Lesnar's going to whip out his old UFC moves. I think with it being a pay-per-view of the caliber and the sheer importance as WrestleMania 29, sorry, I nearly said WrestleMania 30, that Brock Lesnar will whip out his old wrestling style. The style that we saw decimate the likes of The Undertaker and Kurt Angle many, many years ago. The Brock Lesnar that we all know and love. Now, Triple H's career is on the line. So let's assume that Brock Lesnar retires Triple H and he has a flawless year heading into WrestleMania 30. Maybe even becomes WWE Champion after a feud with The Rock. Now, I would love to see that. I would love to see Brock Lesnar back on top as a full-time superstar in the WWE. Now, it's important to note that Brock Lesnar has signed a year's contract with the WWE that will see him through to WrestleMania 30. Now, what better way to go out than with a feud and a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 30? Now, there are many ways that this match could come about, and there are many ways why it makes sense still to this day. At WrestleMania 20, Brock Lesnar's last WrestleMania appearance thus far, Brock Lesnar was retired, sort of, at the hands of Bill Goldberg. But, even though Goldberg won the match, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg both lost in the end because Stone Cold stunned each and every one of them. And it was glorious to see Goldberg and Brock Lesnar get stunned. However, Brock Lesnar also left the WWE that same night, as did Bill Goldberg, and therefore we never got to see Stone Cold vs Brock Lesnar happen in the ring. But Brock Lesnar, being an angry man as he is these days, he could easily bring up his last WrestleMania appearance and take it out on Stone Cold Steve Austin in a feud. Lesnar's current gimmick is that he comes in, apparently kills people, and then leaves again. In time for a match, build up some hype, Paul Heyman comes in and slags people off, and then we get Brock Lesnar in a match at WrestleMania. Now, that could easily happen again next year, and there is another reason why it makes sense. Paul Heyman, aka Paul E. Dangerously, was crucial in Stone Cold Steve Austin's career. Stone Cold Steve Austin, as Stunning Steve Austin, was a part of the Dangerous Alliance in WCW. And Paul Heyman was, of course, the manager and the founder and the leader of that legendary faction that also saw such names as Arn Anderson and the living legend Larry Zbyszko a part of it, as well as beautiful Bobby Eaton, I think, at one point. Now, I'm a big Bobby Eaton fan, so let's avoid the Bobby Eaton hate. So, it's also important to note that Paul Heyman played an important role in Steve Austin's career before he was Stone Cold. Stone Cold Steve Austin even credits Paul Heyman as being the man that let him work his freedom. Paul Heyman created the Stone Cold Steve Austin character when Austin jumped ship to ECW in the mid-1990s. Now, not many people know that. Without Paul Heyman, you would not have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, there's a foundation for a feud if I ever seen one. We've got the history with Paul Heyman and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we've got the history with Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That would be a dream feud, and I personally would love to see Stone Cold and Brock Lesnar get it on at WrestleMania 30. Now, the third and final feud I'm going to talk about, my friends, is Stone Cold Steve Austin vs CM Punk. Now, this feud is already happening. This feud has been in place for well over a year, and Stone Cold Steve Austin has even made videos attacking CM Punk, calling him smelly and all these other things that are just damn right hilarious, but cannot be repeated on my video as I do not want to get flagged. And yeah, these videos are very explicit. They are very, very personal attacks on CM Punk, and I thoroughly recommend that you guys go ahead and watch them. They are very easy to find. They are very, very entertaining. Austin calls Punk a Viking. Need I say more? Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk have had an off-screen and on-screen rivalry for quite some time. Around the time WWE 13 was released this last October, November-ish, at the premiere events, I suppose you call them, the preview events, Austin and Punk regularly engaged in promos attacking each other. Now, this match is bound to happen. It needs to happen. Stone Cold Steve Austin, if he was around today in the ring, him and Punk would be the top draws of the company, no questions asked. Just like if Punk was around, if the CM Punk we know and love today was around during the Attitude Era, Punk would be a top draw in my personal opinion. CM Punk in many ways is like the Stone Cold Steve Austin today. The no-limit promos, the no limits in his actions, the flawless ring talent, and the amazing microphone skills. CM Punk possesses everything that Stone Cold Steve Austin used to possess, and hopefully still possesses. Now, this feud has been going on for well over a year, and we have still not seen the payoff, and we thought we would see the payoff by now, particularly with the celebratory events, the anniversary events of Raw, and of course WrestleMania 29. Many thought that this would be a headline match at an event such as WrestleMania 29, but that maybe they're being smart, maybe they are saving it for WrestleMania 30, which would make a lot of sense considering Austin has a year to get in shape, CM Punk has a year to prepare, and they have a year's worth of epic, legendary, timeless promo wars between these two iconic superstars. Now, this to me right now is one of my favourite dream matches of the moment. I cannot think of a dream match that would be bigger for me, especially in the modern day and age, than Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 30. And that's the reason I saved this discussion for last, because I think that is the biggest dream match of all that would still be brilliant. I mean, we can talk about The Undertaker versus Sting, but let's face it, both of those guys have pretty much left their prime or are about to leave their prime. We can talk about Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan versus John Cena. You know, we've got all these matches. Sting versus Shawn Michaels would probably still be epic mind. But of all the modern day dream matches that were relevant, that are relevant today, Stone Cold Steve Austin vs CM Punk is the one that shines brightest for me, and I would absolutely love to see Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk fight it out at WrestleMania 30. Right, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. So let's just do a cheeky, quick summary of what we've talked about thus far. We've talked about Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock one more time at WrestleMania 30 and how that would make sense, how that would be an epic nostalgia visit that's not actually that long ago, but still long enough ago. I would love to see The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin one more time, especially at an event, a celebratory event such as WrestleMania 30, and no doubt these guys will still put on a phenomenal match, probably their best WrestleMania match ever. We've talked about the Stone Cold Steve Austin vs Brock Lesnar and why that will make sense. It's based on history, it's based on roots, it's based on origins. And of course, when Lesnar went out 10 years ago, he went out at the hands of Stone Cold Steve Austin. When Austin came into the WWE, it was thanks to Paul E. Dangerously, aka Brock Lesnar's manager, Mr. Paul Heyman himself. And of course, we've talked about Stone Cold Steve Austin vs CM Punk, which is one of my favourite dream match potentials ever, and I think that this today, as far as today's wrestling goes, this would be the ultimate WrestleMania headline match. Stone Cold Steve Austin vs CM Punk would be a flawless headliner and a flawless main event at WrestleMania 30. And considering this feud's been going on for well over a year, Twitter attacks, press conference attacks, and all these are the personal digs from Austin and Punk, I really think that this would be a huge world-changing match. So my friends, I would love to hear your thoughts, opinions and comments on a potential Stone Cold Steve Austin new WWE contract and return in time for WrestleMania 30. As always my friends, thumbs up, subscribe and enjoy.